Dimapur de flood bishi biya bra hoi gina ase itu homoy families khan bishi effect bi hoi gina ase manuso pra modot dikhi gina ahi thakya nishna state sarkar prabi aji inspection jaishe aro flood de pra muria tinta families ke 4 lakh each ex gratia do dishe IB detail report saw
Hornbill TV itia yere Dimapur DC office laga bahar de ahi gene ase aji moi khan yere ahi gene thaka nishna olop din hoise itia Dimapur de pani bishi giri gena flood hoi gena manu bishi ge effect kuraise in terms of thousand bi itia ro numbers to uthi gene thagibo yere ahia nishna moi khan aji inspection ahia khan hoile do NSDMA laga advisor new seat ho aro itu eklai noi gena chief secretary Jia Lambi ahishe aro NSDMA khan bra hoile bi ahi gena itu ground check bi kuise inspection bi kuise itu inspection jai thaka homoy manu sob manu bi jani ne thagibo itu flood egla bra hoile bi Dimapur de tinjon laga life jai ja laga moi khan apni han ge itu report update khan bi ani thaga nishna itu tinjon ge state government bra ex gratia 4 lakhs each dishe itu ekla hi no hoi gena itu tinjon bitore deceased ekjon la bacha kun itia bi infant ase chief secretary Jia Lambra tai karne 1 lakh dia laga bi moi kan huni pa ase itia tai kan aji yare ahi gene meeting loise itu ekla hi no hoi gena press briefing ekta bi diwo ko ase tai kan inspection ja do kine ka thagi she to bi moi han itia sai gene jaw
This is not the water that goes in the Hebong, but because of the debris and all these things, garbages. So just in case.
Walua to Ponchai di Pari ase na
Ponchai हम district administration और इतो state disaster management हम उनके support है इतना तक तो हम relief देते हैं कि हम
इधर तो दादी पुनगुरी ऊपर तो खुली जाए ऊपर दादी पुनगुरी ऊपर तो खुली जाए इनका सही तो
किमान साल हुई थी तो बना
तो छह साल निशाना तो है 6 साल ओए 6 साल तो है
तो wall भी इतना crack हो बोले भी चल
होई गना से crack हो गना
crack बोला ऐसे किनी तो कले पैसे बोले तो बोले ना पड़ेगा मान तो बड़ा क्या मान घास काटी के टेम्पोररी एक्शन दी बोले ऐसे तो डिपार्टमेंट गवर्नमेंट साइड पर ऑलरेडी ना साइड किमान जोना से इतिया
ये 300 man to manu ase aro household do 70 to miya khanna to yade non local
shortfall तो नहीं बोला खाला की तो
etia tak to ama khan council bra para tak to to central laga na colony wall for to council kan buta ko ya
cash extend with shape and what about this medical provision medical ahiliya
etia to hana etia tak to
here I would like to say kuda village aman tawo posti ase yadi bi pishi effect hoise holibi aman bi main power shortage hobra every location to visit kurole ba nai holibi we are sure that abunian laga ki effect hoigena ase abunian STRF knowledge of further aman idu assessment loigana will put up to the government aro let's hope common bra aman laga ki damage hoise property hobi ki ase idu aman relief side bogana bisas tangor ekta ase so before we hand over the ex gratia I would like to request our advisor sir to kindly give a short speech sir.
Respected Chairman, I want to give my saddest condolence on my own behalf and on behalf of Government of Nagaland. under the leadership of our police leader, Sirin Filbil, Chief Minister of Nagaland. Well, other accidents we used to come across from time to time. But this kind of flood-related issue, I think in the recent year, this is the first time we're hearing from Dimapur. Uttarakhand itu laga incident to meet again. Only we flood-related laga to itu pohela to kini ka hoise only ITI itu first time dunia ni sina se Dimapur de. Kan itu loga kan sado. My short observation is ITI nala pana laga to maybe way back in 1990s. So itu time de settlement man thaki nai. To pani volume do ini ki ase itu hesab di panai thakibo. But with the repeat expansion of this Dimapur Dam, we need to have a serious thought koribo lage etia to. Aru government bi serious para lobo. Meantime, moi humble request koriya to etia sadu government to ini to drainage to panai digina she. Only be most of us mo kan side by side kumpa interest ki guru ase. Itu na hoigena itia DC bara itu ekta koloni de guani sina under itu Dimapur urban khan itu nala safa kuru bole mon holebi kumba direct ini latrine to tate nala di guri dise aru pisabi tate hali dia ase itu na hoigena moi kan naka manu do bhal bi ase quality bia laga do we are not a disciplined people, we lack discipline. Aru mohan laga ki safa koribo lage ki koribo lage itu na kori gana khushi itu nala de mola bi khilai thake idu bara bi situation do adam aggravate ho jaise idu garni idia public sudondar khan utabile chole bi iman idia gana she idu weird guri bi ina guri gana mo kan side by side from government end ki guru paribo kuribo, but meantime public be atom sensitive guru contribution guru lage aru immediately mo itia sado who knows itia do 2 days July 9 asado ako heavy bi ayo pare idia nijur laga colony to nala cha khandu immediately to khandu safa gure do somehow itu dia ula ga bi mo kan avoid kuro pare dei nindi morom guri gena itu kan phaugen safa guribi aru aji barado moila khan na dibi colony khan bi gobi latrine bi dade directly na guri dibi nia guri gena time to time ido DMC khani ido safa gurule dibi iniga hole moi khan laga feature du bhal hobo na hole do moi khan itie bare e weird na guri gena নিজের খুশি করে চাই থাকিলে তো না হব তো মরম করি কিনা পাবলিক খান্দো ইতিয়া for me ini sado we Naga people we need to work up alo rule procedure lo do alo follow করলে তো ওখান তো তুমি ভাল মানুষ আছে.
As we all know, Nagaland actually experienced unprecedented rains in the last 4 days. 4-5 days, and this kind of a weak weather event actually caused flash floods and loss of life, damage to property, and even our road connectivity etc. was also hampered. So just to have a first-hand idea of what kind of landslides have taken place on Dimapur, which is the lifeline for our people, and to see the actual situation on the ground in the flood-affected areas. Both of us decided to come here, although there are other important issues going on in Kohima, but then we thought it is necessary for us to come down because this is is almost like a disaster, natural disaster. So we are here. As you all know, if you look at the rain data of the last 3 years, you see on the data is there with me. On the 4th of July, 95.4 mm rain was there in Dimapur. On 5th, 92.4. On 6th July, 76.5. And on 8th July, 122 mm rain. So altogether, in the 5 days from 4th July to 8th July, almost like 400 mm of rain fell in Dimapur. I have the data of the previous 2 years also. It has never rained for more than 20 mm in 24 hours in Dimapur in the recent past during this period. In the last, in 2 months' time, June and July put together, the total rainfall in 2023 in Dimapur was 474 mm. And of course, last year the rains were very low. So in 2 months' time, the rains were 219 mm. But this year, we are yet to, in the first week of July only, and we have had 661 mm of rainfall in Dimapur. So one can imagine that excessive rainfall is taking place this year, and as we all know, due to climate change, a lot of rain falls in a very short span of time, and that is the cause of many disasters, not only in Nagaland, in many other places also. It leads to flash floods and all that. So we have visited this road stretch from Dimapur to Kohima. We have seen some of the vulnerable spots on the road. Although the NHIDCL and the concerned contractors are taking care of that, but in some portions it's quite worrisome. So we will go back to Kohima and then we will sit with the departments again to see how best we can deal with the emerging situation. As far as Dimapur is concerned, we had visited some relief camps and we have visited the low-lying areas where waterlogging and floods have taken place. Though water has receded a little bit now, but still people have told us that in some areas the water level had gone up quite high.
Because of the drastic changes in the global environment, the last 4 or 5 days there's unprecedented rains, and as I told in the hall that we haven't heard that flood-related casualty for the last so many years from Dimapur, but these times really unfortunate that the tree soil has been perished. Anyway, for me, I take it that it is a challenge for every one of us, and it has really awakened us. As our Chief Secretary was telling that we have visited Walford area, then Vimelu area also. There, my personal observation is, earlier, it seems in the 90s, I don't know exactly, but they have made one drainage. That times, maybe the settlements, the colony is not that much, but now it is very small comparing the settlements of the vicinities, and it started, it seems, from Tiger, and it is thrown in 4 or 5 colonies. Not only that, but you see like quite a good number of places there is a sealed in. So all those silting, I think we need a civic sense. If we could have removed regularly, somehow, I think we can avert the damage. But still then, when we are there in the spot, DC was telling that the public used to send direct to this thing, toilet or in the drainage, the toilet connections. So I think these things are going, and frankly speaking, we Nagas, we don't have much discipline. So we used to dump whatever garbage is there in this thing, drainage. So now almost when we went to this Vimelu colony, the department was telling that it was in 8 feet was being constructed, the height, but now almost all the beds are still there. So these are the issues. So I want to request each and every person that we need to propagate about civic sense and discipline ourselves. And one thing is that the last so many years, we don't have even a civic body. But recently, under the leadership of our President CM, that the civic body has already been set up. So now, you see, like, if every one of us, if we pinpoint, if we look at the governments, whatever government we can do, we will do. But if always we say that government, I think it is not help much.
What can the government or the administration do or take measures for land enforcement and for waste management?
Yeah, to some extent you are right. Due to encroachment and maintenance, there may be some deficiencies in maintenance, and because of that it's not able to deal with this kind of calamities. So in fact a survey is already going on in Dimapur to identify all these vulnerable spots, and once the survey is completed, the government will take it up wherever it is possible to have, take corrective measures. The colony, some colony people actually told us that there is a requirement to, divert some of the drains, and then of course, as the Honorable Advisor has mentioned, the drains are silted, so their capacity has gone down to a great extent. A drain which is supposed to have a depth of say 8 feet, it has a depth of only 4 feet. That means the capacity is only 50%. And similarly, since the drains are being used like the funnels for garbage etc. also, many places the smooth water flow is not there, and because of all these problems the flooding is aggravated. So once the survey is completed, I think we will come to know what kind of requirement is there and how it can be taken care of.
So my question is for the NSDMA regarding the funds, relief funds, not just for flood but even other cases also, landslide, and where people are affected. We are hearing that the amount that comes is very meager, not enough to take care of the affected place or affected people. Is that true, and if it is so, why is that when it comes to the funds?
Thank you. When it comes to the fund, the Ministry of Home Affairs has the set of norms, ceiling. So we cannot go more than that. Now, if you really look at it in disaster, there are two things. One, we are looking at damage. When we look at the damage, it is not as the infrastructure or roads or drainages. But loss. Today, when we went to the Biruni colony, the woman was explaining that she does a floral business. That for the past this many days, I could not do that business. And that is not loss. So now when we really look at it, we have to really look at the two sides, damage and loss. So now disaster management really comes as a small assistance to mitigate the loss. Then when we say damage is infrastructure building. So infrastructure building per se does not come directly to the disaster management purview. Even if we gather some fund for the rebuilding or the mitigations, it goes through the departmental infrastructural department concerns. So ours, what we're looking at it is some assistance to the loss. I hope I'm answering your questions. And when it comes to infrastructure today, I think especially Dimapur, both government, community people, and all of us, when it comes to disaster, it affects everyone. Disaster has no color, tall fellow, short fellow, rich fellow, poor fellow, it affects everyone. So I think each time that we need to really look at it. Dubai city was built for future ready resilience. But look at it last year. Dubai was flooded. Therefore, it is time for Dimapur, especially the commercial hub of Nagaland. We need to build any infrastructure that we are taking up with the philosophy of disaster, future resilient. We have to build today for another 100 years. Our Honorable Advisor Deputy said, and our Chief Secretary has also said, the infrastructure that has built was maybe 90 years ago, or maybe during 90s. But for today, unprecedented extreme weather events, this infrastructure is not ready for that kind of unprecedented. So when we're building now, we need to look at future ready infrastructure from now to 100 years. And for the assistance, I think we have extended 3x ratio. We're very sorry for the loss, especially that one family, very young father, left behind I think 3 months or 4 months old daughter. We are very sorry for the loss, and even our Chief Secretary, our Honorable Advisors, have extended the ex gratia. Now what we say that is as per the ceiling of the Ministry of Home Affairs norms, 4 lakhs.
इत्या करने मन होबो आया दिन खान दे मोय खान इनेगा अपडेट्स खान आनी थागियो के क्रेसेन्यो के हो कैमरा पर्सन वोंग हॉर्नबिल टीवी डिमापुर।